Mr. V, you're out.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll officially call our meeting to order at 4:18 and note that all of our members are present. We do have one guest. Miss Green has graced us with her presence today. So our first item on the agenda is to approve our agenda for today. So if you would review our agenda, and then we'll take a motion and a second to approve.
I'll approve.
Motion by Ms. Hill. Second by Ms. Russell. Any discussion? All in favor of approving our agenda for today's meeting, please say aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is to review the minutes from our October 17th regularly scheduled meeting. So if you'll take a moment to review those, it's a front and a back, and then we'll take a motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Bowers. Is there a second? Second by Ms. A. Any discussion? All in favor of approving our minutes from our last meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is our good news report. I am failing at thinking about good news this month. I did not write anything down for it, but we've had a great month. We had the 3rd through 5th grade dance, which was highly attended. We had house meetings, we had field trips, buddy rooms,
Veterans Day
buddy rooms. See, I keep all you guys around for great reasons. Halloween character day,
Oh,
the pumpkins for,
And the stand was very cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very cool.
and PTA is already working to plan on how do we make it bigger and better. Like next year, it's going to be more of an event,
Yeah.
and like we're going to do a dance competition, a dog parade. So just try and make it into more with all that, because everybody brought their dogs, so there were 20 dogs there.
It's a dog neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people have dogs.
So
We had the playground after school. It was just a big puppy party.
so yeah, so we've got amazing things going on. We're excited to gear up for International Day and International Night on Friday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so our next item on our agenda, do we have any public comments?
No.
Okay, no public comment. Next item on our agenda is school improvement planning. The first thing on here is just the comprehensive school improvement plan. You've only got a couple pages in here. I just pulled out what we're currently doing for this year. We had our school-wide success team review this last week and look at, okay, what are we doing well? What do we need to continue to work
Excuse me,
on?
a
Yeah,
parent just sent me that Mr. B might be on mute. I can't hear the live stream SBDM meeting.
okay. I'm not muted here. Let's test this. A parent is saying we were having issues with that, so let's check the live stream. Where is my live stream?
I watched it. That's what I did one day. But then it was like.
It should say live on Zoom. Let me see. Okay. Now here's sound.
Say something.
Okay, can you hear me?
I'll see. Miss-
There's a delay.
It's Caleb Carden's mom.
Okay. There is a delay. It did work when I pulled it up on here, so it was running sound. So if you can't hear me, I apologize. I'm happy to sit down with anybody.
Yes,
So-
I can now.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is our school improvement plan. So just looking at where we stand in this current year. So you can see here what we've coded, things that are the light gray on your printouts are yellow, which means we've kind of started this, but we haven't really, we're not doing it fully. So you can see here, the first one, participating in culturally responsive teaching, book study, and present that information. We're kind of working on that, but it's not fully completed yet. Red is something that we have not started for this current year. So you can see red right now, we've not started reviewing data as it pertains to multilingual students and looking at their involvement in tiered services and in gifted and talented services. So we are going to be recreating and bringing back the MTSS team committee in a small fashion to kind of more target those students there.
Get excited.
Yeah. So green means we're doing it and we're doing it well. So the next two, district personnel will support the ongoing learning of all certified staff. We're doing that. We do have multilingual parent nights and family days will be celebrated at Glendover. Blue, the school-wide success team was not happy with just having green as the top. We had to have a blue, which is even higher than green. So about conference times that we this year did a much better job of really opening up conference times for that. So
I just love having the door open, like
Yes.
having someone and then like a background check, like, they had to show their ID and, I thought that was much safer.
yes,
As a parent, I appreciated it.
yes. Yeah, we love seeing all the families come through. So the next one is a yellow. It's the lightest of the grays. We're still working on making sure we're using consistent and clear vocabulary across all grade levels and amongst all staff. So working on those consistent things.
Be nice if the district didn't know.
So, and then providing opportunities to learn about the cultures of students that are in their class. We're beginning to this. It's still early in the year for this, but with international nights coming up this week, we're learning a lot about our students and their cultures with that. The next area is student support structures. I won't go over the ones that are green. So an area that we're going to continue to work on is scaffolded grade level instruction through co-teaching and targeted pullout. So when we come back in the spring, we're going to be really re-looking at our master schedules and saying, okay, are there ways that we can maybe make some groups larger for EL supports or and have more co-teach time to get into the tier 1 content. Because what all of our data and what you'll see when we look at data is showing our English language learning students are doing great at language acquisition, but they're not being able to apply their learning into the content. So they're not performing at the same level. They're showing great growth with language, but not with content. We move on to the next one. In writing, we have, they're all green except for the one that's really dark, and that one's a red. And that one just says intermediate grades will participate in a live scoring seminar in which students respond to grade appropriate prompts and are given immediate feedback in order to improve overall writing performance. So that's something that's going to be coming in the spring, but we'll be having a push in time where it's like everybody that's available is going to flood into 4th grade, and the kids are going to write, and then we're going to live score and give them live feedback in the moment, with as many staff members as we can with that. So that's going to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We'll all get that. And then when you go to the next one, student engagement, everything is green with the exception of the 3rd one that says PLCs will work together to analyze the effectiveness of student engagement strategies and the impact on student achievement. So really looking at, is the strategy that we tried, did that have an impact on our student achievement? And so that's something that we're going to continue to work on. Some grade levels are stronger at that than other grade levels, but holistically, that's what we're going to work on. So that is our CSIP right now. I don't envision next month in December, we'll officially reapprove the CSIP. I don't envision us making any changes to what we're doing. I feel like the plan we have in place, it was a 3-year plan. And I feel like what we've written and how we've developed this really structures and moves us forward over this year and into next year. So any questions on the CSIP? Okay. So now for the real fun, we're going to talk the Kentucky Summative Assessment Data Analysis. There are 61 pages of this document. I did not realize how long it was until I printed it today. And then I went, oh my gosh, it's a lot, but we're going to go through this pretty quick. I did not print it in color. I could not waste all that color. So I will talk you guys through some of this. Hopefully by now you know that we are a blue school, which is the highest level in the state of Kentucky. I was also informed today by U.S. News and World Report, which I forgot to say in good news, that we have been named one of the best elementary schools in the state of Kentucky. So we get to use that little U.S. News that the hospitals all use. So we are number 67 in the state of Kentucky. So
Is that elementary school?
that's of elementary schools. Yes. Okay. So we're going to shine a light on student progress today. So, so just as a reminder, a novice student, go away, stupid thing.
U.S. News and World
Report. Yeah. Go back. Okay. So a novice student gets 0 points when we calculate that. An apprentice student gets half of a point. A proficient student gets a full point, and a distinguished student gets 1.25 points. So even just moving a student from novice to apprentice is a bigger impact than moving a student from proficient to distinguished. So there are now 2 different ways that they code us in the state. The first one is our status score, which deals with the achievement. So we get a color here, red, orange, yellow, green, or blue. And that says you're very low to very high. So in every content area, we will have a status. And then we will also have a fancy arrow, which will say our change level, because they can't use the word growth. It's the change level. So there is a red arrow down is declined significantly. A red arrow or an orange arrow to the side is declined, all the way up to blue up arrow, which is increased significantly. So it's a whole lot of super much fun. And so then super much fun. And then it all gets put into this fancy chart to figure out what you get. So if you are if you are high status, which is a green, and your change, you increased, you stay green. If you increase significantly, you become blue. But if you decline, you become yellow. So it's a whole stuff, lots of stuff here that is really confusing. It really fascinates me, but it is trying to figure out how they came up with this blows my mind. So, and then when we look at the weights of each thing, our whole elementary reading and math counts for 51% of our score. Science, social studies, and writing counts for 40%. English learner counts for 5%, and the quality of school climate and safety accounts for 4%.
That was the English learning progress, is that?
That's
how
on
this stuff-
access.
Okay.
That's
what I
on
thought. Okay.
access. So, and that's where you'll see when we get to this, our access, our English learner progress is super high because we did great on access. But then when we look at ELs on KSA, it's not at that same level. So, and then based on that, we get an overall color. Everybody jokes that we're now back to clip charts. So I just imagine the state putting everybody on a little clothespin and
Absolutely.
moving everybody up and down and
You know, that's in the name of it.
yeah.
Good chart.
So, okay, so now we'll go through each content area. So in reading, last year, our proficient distinguished equaled 58% of our students. Our goal for reading was to be at 60%. We ended up at 57%. So you can see here, this shows our change. Novice, we decreased the percentage of novice students by 9% in reading. We were at 27% novice last year. We're at 18 this year. So that's awesome. Those 9% all went to apprentice because we increased apprentice there. But remember, moving from novice to apprentice is half a point. That's still a big boost. Our proficient students, that dropped by 8%, but they went to distinguished. Don't ask me how math works and why these numbers aren't all the same. It's all the percentages and how they calculate and how they round. So we stayed about the same. We didn't meet our goal overall in reading, but we're still on track and we are still moving forward. Then you can see here, this shows by each grade where our novice, apprentice, proficient, distinguished students are. The light blue is 3rd grade. The dark blue is 4th grade, and the orange is 5th grade. And then if you look in this last column, that shows you the proficient distinguished overall. And then this just shows you change over time. So the class of 23 was about 58, I would say, then went up to about 65, and they've maintained. The class of 24 dropped a little bit. What we do typically see in this class of 24 going from a 3rd grade year to a 4th grade year, we lose a lot of our truly distinguished students to our gifted programs, which does have an impact on our percentage proficient distinguished. So when we
And writing.
and
In
writing,
3rd grade, they don't write at all.
yes.
It's all multiple.
And then we'll just run through some different things. So in reading by gender, our girls outperform our boys across the board. Great news is both of them are trending upwards. Our proficient distinguished over time from last year to this year is trending upwards from there. When we look at economically disadvantaged, if you are disadvantaged, you perform dramatically below the students that were non-disadvantaged. And our goal here was to have 45% proficient distinguished at disadvantaged, and we ended it at 38. So we didn't reach our goal there with that. With EL, if you are EL, you are going to be less proficient distinguished than before, or than if you're non-EL. Our goal was 42%. We ended at 24. So then when we move into math, and some of these charts are not on here because some of the data is, I lost the word, is not available because we didn't have enough students. It's depressed. So we can't see and share that data. So for math, last year we were at 55%. Our goal was 57% for proficient distinguished, and we hit 58%. So in math, we did great. And I'm so proud of this because when I talk to other schools, they all talk about how their math is struggling so much more than their reading. And they're always like, we can't get our math up, and our math is on par with our reading and continuing to grow. So what we are doing here is great. Novice, we reduced that by 8% there. Apprentice up by 5, proficient up by 1, and distinguished up by 1. So overall, a great increase there. Then when we look at this, we see those differences in the grade levels, 3rd, 4th, 5th. When we look at gender, our girls outperform our boys. but again, they're both growing. They're not growing at the same rate our reading was. Our reading was pretty much almost 45 degrees. These are a little flatter, but still great. We're showing progress. Economically disadvantaged, it's below. Our students who are non-disadvantaged, 80% of them. And we hit our goal though, because the goal here was 35 and we hit 38. So even though we're not there yet, we're still making that progress.
How can we create more equity with reading compared to math with like disadvantage?
Yeah.
Is there like anything we can do through books or the public library?
Yeah. So we're looking at group activities with the public library. We're also exploring some culturally authentic texts, because a lot of those students who are disadvantaged have a hard time getting into text because they don't see a lot of themselves in text.
Yeah.
So we're looking at how can we increase what we have and expose them to things that are connecting to them and authentic to them with that. And then it all comes down to just true exposure to text and having multiple opportunities to get into text. And Jan does a great job of really having, like, encouraging kids to do that. We do the book fairs and
Start book giveaways I've got before the winter break. I'll be 3 weeks. So I've got tons of books that I'm just sending home.
Yeah.
And like our kid kind of choice, like there's probably EL and.
yes,
okay,
like there
so-
it's not there used to be a thing called an unduplicated gap group, which was just they put everybody into one pot and you only count it once. Now you count EL, free reduced, you count in every single. So, and that's a lot of our kids that are what we've found when we've really reviewed our data. The students who are economically disadvantaged, who are not proficient or distinguished, also have one of the other markers. They're Hispanic, they're EL, they are special ed. Like our students that are just free and reduced lunch with none of the other indicators typically perform as the same age, non-disadvantaged.
That's great.
So it's just supporting and working with that.
Preschool would make a huge difference.
Do
in
you
that
want to
category.
post
Yep.
about like taking book donations or anything? Where people could drop stuff off?
In the spring, I like my back room here is like, I'm slammed.
When
right
you're
now,
not
but
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
in the
if we
spring,
can
that
help.
would be awesome.
Okay.
We used to do a book swap, but we had, for whatever reason, got away from that, but that's always fun.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
I have the sprayer gun. We can just lay them all out and I'll bring the sprayer
Go
gun
to
in. So, when we look at science, close your ears. Okay. When we look at science, okay, what I want to say here, science is taken in 4th grade, but it is a K-4 assessment. It assesses everything that they've been taught K-4 and all the skills, and it's just expecting them to transfer all of that information. This is also comparing 2 different groups of kids. Everything else has been comparing similar groups because it's 3rd, 4th, 5th. This is 2 very different groups of children. So last year, we were at 50% proficiency with last year with students in 4th, or the year before. When we look at this year we're at 38%. So this is a group that has perpetually struggled and their achievement data has been lower year over year. So this was not a surprise coming into us with all of
We
that.
also only teach 20%
Yes.
of the content of this test in 4th grade. 20%.
Yes.
They could have
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
But
K
I think,
through 4.
and I think that's part of the problem with the standards.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah.
because they
I don't-
get it, but they get it in kindergarten and they don't see it again till,
They never see the word solid liquid gas after 1st grade.
right, and it's just, to me, that's, I mean, I know that we used to expand on a lot of things and they would carry on. But I felt like it's kind of like social studies where you start small and then just
Build.
expand.
Yeah.
But when the science standards first came out, I'm like, they don't see this again until
Yeah.
6th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Now,
So
we have
thanks.
started to do like kind of bell ringer, like warm up things, just trying to hit like, I mean, just because I mean, and then the other thing is that there is a transient student or a student that is from somewhere else
Yeah.
or
They
didn't
could've
go.
From a different
No.
country.
I mean, so they don't have any of it.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating
So-
and
It's
90,
Uh-huh.
well, but
Yes.
this test, this is a reading test.
It is.
It is a reading test.
added that probably if the content
Or like brain
of-
quest style
that
thing.
the kids could read in fourth or third grade that cover the concepts covered from K through, that they could be reading to keep things fresh.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
have-
There are not good things. That is the hardest thing with these
It's
NGSS
not a
standards is it's
content
so,
question.
it's more application
Yes.
of
Yeah.
So
the
it's a
cross-cutting
scenario
concepts.
where they're supposed, they call it a phenomenon.
Yeah.
There is a phenomenon that they look at. It's a scenario that might involve quite a few science concepts as well as
Like,
engineering.
how did the
concepts.
light pass through the water different than it passed through the solids? But you haven't heard solid liquid gas since first grade. And so building like, but yes,
But that's the point I'm making. I know it's a phenomenon, but if you keep the knowledge fresh, maybe you're
But it's-
better
I mean, like,
able to
but
synthesize and.
Science
kind of
content
think
is
through.
enormous.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same level, like it's very different. It is
Yeah.
difficult. Like I'm
I mean,
just gonna say. it's
repetition helps.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're
if
good.
You can't read it, you're not gonna answer. the
I'm
question.
not-
Later in this meeting, we're going to talk about the magnet school and something that we're exploring if we can get $120,000 to do that. I think would support the issues because it would allow that continuation from year to year. So if anybody has $120,000 when we get to that, I'm taking donations. So okay, so here in science, novice, we did decrease novice here. So novice is lower, apprentice is higher, proficient and distinguished are lower here. Okay. When we look at our economically disadvantaged, this is where you're going to start to see some suppressed data, so you won't see some of the aspects. Again, our disadvantaged students underperform our non-disadvantaged students. Our EL students underperform our non-EL students. Hopefully you're noticing a trend. Okay, so now with writing is a 5th grade assessment, but again, it assesses those skills consecutively, K through 5. Writing also, this combines editing and mechanics and on-demand writing is combined here. So our goal last year, we had 32% proficient distinguished. This year we were at 48%. And that, yeah, this is truly, I put this to the group of children. That the group that just left us was an extremely gifted, high achieving group that was able to achieve. And so that's where the grouping of kids really can sway this data. But yes, so I mean, you can see here, novice decrease, apprentice decrease, proficient increased, distinguished increased.
And this is just 5th grade.
This is
right?
just 5th grade. So that's where we really see those changes in groups with everything. When we look at gender, our girls outperform our boys. When we look at economically disadvantaged,
Where they got trapped.
if you're disadvantaged, you're underperforming compared to your non-disadvantaged. Okay. Social studies. Social studies is a lot like science, where it is a 5th grade assessment, but it covers all the K through 5 standards. Our goal was, last year we were 45%. This year, 73% proficient distinguished.
What do you feel like that's from?
It's a group of kids.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both writing and social studies are that group of children.
So
So-
how do they get tested in social studies? Is it like?
It's a reading test.
Okay.
It's very similar to science,
Is it just for 5th graders?
just 5th graders. And it's reviewing, you're reading a passage, analyzing a document, writing about it. Like it's so. Okay, so gender, woo woo, boys beat the girls. Yeah.
You gotta do it once.
We got to do it once. So, social studies is they get excited about it. Mhm. Again, economically disadvantaged, underperform the non-disadvantaged. Okay. We're almost there, guys. Okay. EL progress. So they rank us in different ways. 0 points meant a student met no growth. This is on access, not on KSA.
They take this in January.
They take this in January, so we're gearing up to retake this. If they get a 60 point, that's considered a half year of growth. 80 points is considered a year of growth. 100 points gets you a year and a half of growth, and 140 points gets you 2+ years of growth. And then it all goes on to this fancy chart to help you figure out what you are. Another chart. Okay. So what you can see here, the light blue is 21-22, the dark blue is 22-23. So last year, 21-22, we had over 25% of, almost 30% of our students not make any growth. This year, that was down to about 17%. Making a half year of growth, last year we're close to 25, this year we're close to 15. Making a full year and above, you can see here in this last one, last year we had making at least a 0.5, a half a year or greater of growth. We had almost 68%, and this year it was at 79%. So our students are made great.
And we cut an EL teacher.
And
You
concerned about that?
it could be something that is a concern, yes. So, okay, so quality of school climate and safety is,
Concerns,
Uh-huh.
I know, like, but there are a lot of double counted children.
Mhm.
There are some children that are EL students that are, that have special needs.
Mhm.
And they are counted in this, which I don't think is fair for
Yeah.
them. They've been, the reason they're not making growth, or they're not making a whole year's growth, there's a lot more reason there other than EL instruction, and I don't think it's fair that they get lumped in there.
so the quality of school climate and safety survey is a survey that the students take as a part of the test. So this is 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. They either rank strongly disagree, agree, or strongly agree. So last year for climate, we were an 82.9. This year, we're an 82. Last year for safety, we were a 79.3. This year, we're a 77.6. This could be one kid changes their answer. I put very minimal stock in what this says unless they're glaring. So these are the ones where we scored below 80%, strongly agree or agree. So you can see all students are treated the same if they break school rules. Elementary age students have a very hard time understanding that different responses are appropriate for different children. And so if they see one kid who has one need not have the same response, they think, oh, the rules don't apply. So we're at 72% there. I feel comfortable stating my opinion in class, even if others disagree. That was a 76% agree. Last year, that was at 85. 23 and 25, they just cannot figure out these questions. It's the knots.
Yeah.
So again, these are the only ones we're below 80%. Everything else we're above 80%. The kids barely understand what the questions are asking. A school actually got in trouble this year for coaching kids on how to answer the questions. So it is what it is. It's 4% of our accountability.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe your opinion is stupid and you should not share it.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to look at the cut scores. So you can see here, these are all the cut scores where we fall with everything. Okay, these are the change scores.
Oh God, whatever. Makes sense.
Okay, so and then here's that fancy table chart
Here we are.
again. Okay, so here we go. So for reading and math, our score was an 83.7, which puts us in the very high range, which means we get the fancy spinning star up here. So 81 is that cutoff for where we stand with that. For the growth, we made 5.9 points of growth, which puts us in the increased range.
Okay.
So
Which is why we.
based on that, we were very high and increased. So then we are blue.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how this fancy chart works. Okay, I take no credit for the spinning star. That's Miss Boroff. Okay, so for science, social studies, and writing, we were a 74.6, which is in the high status range. We were very close to that very high range.
Yeah.
But we were a 9.3 points of growth. So that is in the increased significantly ranged. So if you're paying attention, high and increased significantly is also blue. 2 blues. For English learner progress, we were an 82.5, which is in the very high range here. That started at 65. For growth, we were in the increased range, which is 18. So very high and increased equals blue. Again, spinny star. Okay. Quality of school climate and safety, we were at a 78.5, which is high. For this one, you will notice here, we went down by 1.3, but the state in all their graciousness has agreed that, hey, a couple kids changing their answers here shouldn't impact a school score. So they gave us maintaining.
Detrimentally,
Yeah.
you know.
So we're in the maintain range. So based on that being high and maintaining, we are in the green. So here's all of our statuses. Here's all of our growths. Here's all of our where we fell on everything. So blue, 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 green. And then here is the scale scores. So this is the part that has changed this year. Not changed. They shift these. This is an ever moving target. Okay. Last year to be blue, you had to be like an 80.5 or something like that.
20.
This
No.
20,
not
this is this year.
No, but it's like.
No,
20.
it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's like bell curve. Like this is like 16%.
Okay.
This is like the bulk are in here, but they've set up like we want this percentage of schools to be in this range. And so they make the cut score work for where we fall. So
One standard deviation or two standard deviation.
yeah, but it's not like that.
This is
It's
the state.
this is the state.
It's not like
They're
that,
always
but
gonna
it
bell
is.
curve it.
Yes. So
They're
this will
gonna
always
have red and blue.
this will always change. There will always be red schools. There will always be like so we're in 84.4, which is in the blue range.
Until they change this.
Until they change it. So there are still areas of improvement, but there are many celebrations.
Good.
Okay. So the next thing, for those of you that are like me and want to know where we rank
I already looked this up.
in the state. So okay, you have to there was no easy way to make this make sense. So think about this. This is the top. So put the word top in front of everything. So for reading and math for the state right here, we are in the top 16.67.
Oh.
If you need that in map terms,
No, don't mess it up. No. just
No.
say-
Okay.
Creative brain.
So think top. So in the states overall, we're in the top 17% for reading and math. In Fayette County, we're in the top 27%. That just shows that Fayette County is an extremely high achieving state or district with that. Science, social studies, and writing, we're in the top 17%. In Fayette County, we're in the top 24%. For EL, we're in the top 14% in the state, top 38% in Fayette County. For quality of school climate and safety, we're in the top 36. Overall, Fayette County, we're in the top 34. Overall score for everything combined, we're in the top 15% of schools in the state. And in Fayette County, we're in the top 29%. I did look at what we need to have to reapply for blue ribbon status, and we have to be in the top 15% in reading and math. And we are in the top 17%. So right now we are not eligible to reapply. It's a couple things. Yep. So we need to beat Maxwell, who was an 84.6.
Right.
So we got target. So, and then you can see here, just for your reference, these are all in all the other subgroups, how we perform comparatively. If it's green, it's better than the overall. If it's red, it's worse than the overall. Okay. And then the last thing is just our proficiency tracker. I'm going to go over this really quickly. This just goes over our common unit assessment data. So all I'll say is Fayette County's common unit assessments suck. So proficiency sucks.
Suck is a very kind word.
Well, it's the most harsh word I can use.
Never seen
on a
anything
live
so
stream.
bad in my-
So you have this data. We're not going to harp on this, but if you want to look at that, if you have any questions about this, please let me know and I will happily sit there and talk you through it.
That one go.
So any questions on any of our data? Okay. I'm so proud of the work we have done and what our staff and our students have achieved over the last 2 years. I think we're making great progress. We still have growth to do, and we're still continuing to get better, and we have high goals, and we're going to beat those schools. So, okay. So up next, you have the budget items. You have our munis and our school activity fund. So I will just give everybody a second just to skim those. If you have any questions, I will happily address them. There's a lot.
Everything's going with prime time this year.
It's yeah, it's better. It's
Good.
so they had some shifts in staff and things have been, there's still the same perennial issues. But again, it goes back to that financials of where,
What's worth it?
what is worth all of that. So
I'm a prime time picnic.
Yep. I am as well. So. Okay. Any questions about budget?
Nope, that's great.
Okay. The next item on here is just an update from our school, social success committee. They are working on evaluating current practices in the areas of PBIS and social emotional learning. And they're going to develop an action plan around those. That was their report. Okay. I'm going to move through these next 3 policies very quickly. I did not find any changes that I would recommend to the council. So if you would like to take a second to review the 3 policies that are there and let me know if you see any changes you would like to recommend. While you're doing that, I'm going to plug in my computer.
I hate this.
You are fine.
The houses.
Oh.
So how,
Do you want that in staff time?
like, you know, when we're sorting, when we do class creator and we're like, da, da, da,
This is
like-
staff.
Oh, this is staff.
This is,
Wait a minute, am I in the wrong policy? Staff time policy, okay.
yeah, so
Where's your next? Oh, that's the next one, never
yeah,
mind.
you're
Is that in it?
in student assignment, so it is not in there. So we can
Okay.
add that
Okay,
there.
Sorry.
But yes, in the staff policy one,
No, it
the-
doesn't matter.
so. Okay, so I'm hearing in student assignment, add houses.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just a factor we would
it is a
consider.
factor, but some, you know, like when we sort, you know, we get in our, like, I have like one house in my class and like, I heard her a lot of points for her. She's very bright, but you know, only one of them.
Okay.
And then when we go to
I
Buddy,
think sometimes that does impact, but.
then when we go to Buddy, there's like less,
Yeah.
I don't know, just mathematically, I suppose.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean, I just turned the page. too far.
You are great. I'm gonna plug in my computer real quick. So keep
The
on.
only issue I see with that is that.
I mean, that's not the most important thing. Yes, yes.
Yeah, when you're trying to balance
Outlet
other
on the back
things,
of that thing,
it will make it really complicated.
on the back of that thing, you know, that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, and we look at it, we did look at it, like we have everybody coded in there. So, but if I were to ever leave or somebody were to ever leave, we could remember it.
They get double.
Uh-huh.
It's all for the
Yeah.
fact that it's not a balance.
Right.
But when you're sitting there and it pulls up, we can sort it by that and we see
Yeah.
like,
No, I think
you know,
Yeah, we can do a quick glance to see. Okay. Any other revisions to instructional staff or to staff time policy or school schedule policy?
What's the?
you mean
policy?
student assignment?
That's up to parents.
Okay.
We kind of work with that with,
But.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was a limit on-
we look at, are there conflicts with like that's kind of where the twins, like if 2 siblings are in a grade, we look at, okay, can they function together? Can they not? Because there are some of our twins who are great together and other of our twins that are not. I can tell you if I had twins, they would not be in the same class because
Twins are in the building.
like 700. We have a lot, especially in 2nd grade. Like, yes.
I am so confused every day and I'm glad I don't have,
Oh,
because there's another twin in my class but the other one is in Miss Meadow. I cannot tell them apart in the hallway. So.
One's taller than the other.
No.
They don't match.
Yeah.
And if one of them is wearing blue shoes. They don't
Yeah.
match.
Okay, so student assignment will come back next month for
I'm
official,
sorry, that's probably
official
not-
review. Thanks, Ms. Bowers.
That was
Gosh.
brought up to me.
Yeah, that is you.
I love that.
It is a great suggestion, and I think it's important to include in our policy as we think through. So, okay. The next item on our agenda is old business. We don't have any old business to review. So the next item on our agenda is enrollment update. You can see on here, we are up to 442 students. We do have 2 new students that will be enrolling after Thanksgiving, a 2nd grader and a 4th grader.
They're cleaning up the house down
But-
on Zandale.
Coming back.
Yes, they're coming back.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, 2nd grade, 4th grade. Who left?
So, they left last year, like they were homeschooled.
We've already talked.
So
about
they,
it.
Miss Russell and Miss Bowers are both getting them. They're-
We've already-
they're coming there. I did get a report of a 5th grader moving in December. They're finishing up their studies at UK, so they're moving back to China. So kindergarten's rocking it out at 94.
And they are a whole
And-
lot of 94.
And they are a whole lot of 94.
Love it.
There is a lot,
Personality.
no, lot of need.
Oh, it's a very high need group in every possible way.
So we love them all, but they are
Wait,
very,
wait, that's my kid's class.
very, very, very needy.
I went down there one day this week and was like,
So our smallest group is at 55. And that's our 4th grade group. So
however, we're saving money all over the place.
yeah.
Because we're little and we're cheap.
Silver lining. Silver lining.
We all fit on one charter bus.
A year ago, we
Fit on
probably
one
would have 94
Oh,
kindergartners
no.
right now.
No.
I'm so happy.
I mean, that is exciting. Our goal, if we can get 450 is a magic number. When we think staffing numbers, 450 is this magical, we get classified, we get clerical, we get like, it's just this special, well, we would then be able to repurpose
Yeah.
into EL. So like,
We're saying that Dr. Liggins has already, like, it has been asked to him whether the district is considering, because of the big push with EL, are we
Yeah.
going to get more EL staff like district wide? And the answer was a firm no.
Because like the percentage of kids that we have at the school, it's speaking
They're
English
not
as a second
considering
it.
language, makes it seem like that would facilitate.
Well, we
the
have
need.
lots of unfunded mandates.
yes.
I mean, it's very
I
frustrating.
think the
Yes.
K class next year is going to be big.
So that's what and we're gonna start the big
Probably 5%
push.
area.
I know.
Yeah.
15.
So yeah, we'll do the big push again in February and really push that out and hopefully get a lot to commit early.
A lot of work.
So,
Maybe we'll
a
get
lot of
um,
boys.
A lot of work.
UK
Mhm.
students coming in January.
Yeah.
Is there, they do online enrollment?
Uh-huh.
Can we possibly do like the preschool family story time in the evening and have computers?
Yeah.
And try to get them to enroll?
Yeah, like we could, because we have our, like our family engaged, we did like a future Eagle night. That
Yeah.
would be a great night for them all to come. And we have, Michelle was here doing enrollments, doing,
I know a lot of them are really late enrollers.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely invite them to all that and get them,
If they're not coming here, could they still enroll?
they can still come here and do the enrollment
You
and,
go to other
yeah.
schools, but okay.
yeah, they could still come and we will happily assist them. Yeah. Okay. Staffing and hiring update. The only official update is we're still technically looking for a preschool para. So that's that. Okay, magnet school status, magnet school update. So, this is something I am very excited about this. And I hope we can
Rob a
do
bank.
this. I may need to. I didn't yet, but I may need to. So through our work with the
Programs.
yeah, so. So.
No idea how many do them.
So through our work with the Office of Innovation, they connected us with this company called Central Creativity, which is located in Louisville. This company, Central Creativity, so about 6 years ago, NASA did away with their space camp. You no longer can go to space camp because it wasn't having the impact that I went. So that does not exist anymore. So they have created a program called Astro Camp. And so NASA has created this free program that anybody can get and have these activities. This company, Central Creativity, has created material kits that have all the directions, videos, materials, everything. Like if you need a pencil, they give you a sharpened pencil, like in the kit.
And it's all in a neat.
It's all in a little package. You pull it out and do this. So on election day, Miss A, Miss Russell, Miss Reister, Miss Green and myself met with them and did a demo with them. And we really like it. It is 25 activities and it's all connected to space and to space camp and engineering. And like they showed us what we tried was how taste buds change when you go to space. What they showed us was they have a hydraulic clamp that kids actually build and would get to take home that shows how hydraulics work and the water moving through the system impacts that. And so with this, if we do have to purchase, and this is an annual purchase. Okay, so it's not, I'm not bringing this to us as like a council, like we need to invest money. This is if we can find money from other people, this is something I would propose that we do. With it, we become what's called a NASA partner school. And we would have full access to use the NASA logo in the school on our websites. It also gives us connections with NASA scientists. So like if we're studying something and we want to learn what it is in space, they would zoom into us and have conversations with us and talk us through all of those things. So, so what I have done is I have created this flyer. I've written a letter and something else. Oh, a highlight of what is about Glendover. And I have sent this to 20 different businesses that have their national or international headquarters here, like Valvoline, Webasto, Space Tango, Lockheed Martin, everywhere asking for money.
I guess fans.
Big ass fans. I sent it to them. I sent like, okay. CMTA engineering firm. So like anywhere.
Send it to my husband's.
Okay.
Lexmark?
Send it to Lexmark. So any,
30%.
yeah. So I just am sending this out to I've sent it out to UK, to Transy, like, and with a goal of just can't any money. Our goal for this spring is we're going to do a pilot program. The district's going to help us find the money to do 10 kindergarten through second grade students and 10 third through fifth grade students in an after school program to pilot this and do it. So that'll be $5,500. But the district's helping us to do that with that. So you can see here, it is expensive. It is $250 a kid per year. Like it is a lot of money. So that's why I keep joking, like we need $120,000. But we really think that this would be such a great way. It can be done. What we're envisioning is like Friday STEM day. And in science on Fridays, we have these STEM activities that teachers don't have to plan for. They literally can open the book, read what it says, and you pull out the baggie, they pull out the bag from their box and lay it in front of the kid.
What we really need is, large business partners that
Yes.
are going to be willing to donate here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I did Coca-Cola, like anybody who is like a big, I reached out to them as well. They're probably more, they don't like to do financial as much.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking, okay, could we get people from these fields to come in on these Fridays and do these activities with our kids and really just connect in and
What about grade construction?
yeah. So I will take any names you have. We can do all that and I will look up.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna try and have dinner with all these people and be like, hey.
Pigmans, Stanley Pigman and his wife, they just contributed a lot to UK for the engineering.
Yeah.
Like renamed the dorm for the engineering, but maybe that family. Might
Yeah.
even.
Yeah, so that may be one. And like UK just opened an aerospace engineering program at UK. So we're tapping into that to try and connect with those students and just
And we're local.
local
Okay,
and
Worst case scenario,
Mhm.
grades 3, 4, 5.
yes, like, so we're willing to do like small spurs, fourth grade.
I mean, I know we want to we want our third graders to stay.
Uh-huh.
We don't want them to go to other programs. So if we say, ooh, you did that in third grade, that was pretty fun, but it's even better in fourth grade and
Yeah.
better in fifth grade, getting them to, stay.
And my mindset is worst case scenario, each kid is meant for one kid. Worst case scenario, I believe we can make it work in small groups and have them
Like
work
in Wichita?
collaboratively with 4 kids or 2 kids, like,
Oh.
and do that. It's not going to be as good, but like there is,
They're smaller.
right. So just building in different things. So we are full, I'm going to take as much money as I can get, and then we will figure out how to do this. And I will plaster these people's logos everywhere and anywhere and just thank them to the moon and back. Once we get, if I can get any meetings, I'm going to list out like a whole sponsorship packet. Like you get this, you get this, you get that, like, and just really try to sell this. The district is fully supporting this. They can't financially fully support it, but they're going to help if we find grants. They're going to help us write grants. I mean, we had a grant writer here with us when we met with them on Tuesday. I mean, and this company will come into Lexington and they'll train us and help us. And like, they're just about getting STEM aspects into kids' hands. And so
Have you applied for any Walmart grants? They'll
I
give
have
small
not.
grants, like under 5,000, but quarterly, so that's
Okay.
20.
Yeah.
And you can do like each Walmart in probably Fayette County.
Yeah.
So I'll send you the stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. We're open to anything and everything. And just really, I have this graphic digitally that I can send you guys, or you have it on the agenda. It's something that I didn't know I was this excited and passionate about until it came about. And then as I've met with them and talked to them, I just get really excited about this opportunity for.
Well, I say of all the things that we've been presented, it seems not like.
Or
I don't know,
hard.
not hard. But not
Easier
like,
to
not more
attend.
work, not changing our curriculum, not
Yes.
changing our scope and sequence, not changing our standards that we teach, you know, what I mean, like, cause none of that's going to change,
Yeah.
like,
As of the only challenge is the money.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also felt like we were kind of a year ago, a little bit more desperate to like get our
Yes.
numbers up. And I do like our little community school. And if
Yes.
we can just enhance what we have instead of like trying to bring in other, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I like that idea.
Yeah.
Of just like offering something.
well, and it's
Changing.
unique, it's
Yeah.
different, it's not some, you
We'd be
know,
the
it's
only
not-
school in Fayette County, and I'm trying to convince Fayette County to give us that, like, that we are the only one, like,
Right.
nobody else can do this, like, because like,
What we're
Yeah.
gonna do.
this is our thing. We're actively working to get 100, because if there are 5 schools going up for 120 grand,
Right.
it's not gonna happen, like, for any of us. So that's what I'm working for, is exclusivity for us to really say, hey, this is the NASA school. This is the, so I'm very, so
We could change our math.
we'll put a helmet on the eagle and but
Already is wearing a helmet, like, you know,
Uh-huh.
just like stick a little, you know.
yeah,
The rocket ship, like you can do
Yeah.
things underneath.
so, but yeah, so I will let you know, I'll keep you guys updated as we go through this process, but really we are now in the get the money.
I would just say that this can't take the place of science
No,
instruction.
it is not.
Let me
No.
just say that in,
Very-
if someone thinks that you're not going to have to teach science anymore,
Yeah,
for the love of God.
Yeah.
Get that understanding.
Yeah. no, it'll be very much, because literally, like, we did, the activity we did,
Activities.
Okay.
I mean,
But you know-
that could be done in 15 minutes. Like, we did it, and it was the coolest thing. It was, you ate a bean and then you didn't taste sour things anymore. It turned lemon juice into lemonade, except for Lauren, Miss Reister missed one spot on her cheek. And so she tasted the lemon juice and it went straight to that spot. Like, Miss Green's daughter literally, it wore off, and then she tried to chug the lemon juice.
She like
and-
took it like a shot, like she was- and she was like, oh. lemon juice.
So, but so if you guys have any people that you want me to contact, just shoot them to me in emails. I have all of this already printed, ready to go. I literally write it in an envelope, send it. And I will do as much as we can with that. So, okay. So that's our update. The next one, attendance update. So the district has realized that a goal of 97% is absolutely crazy. So they've changed it and said, they've now set 95 as the goal for elementary. And so you can see here that every week we are meeting that 95%, with the exception of right before winter, or right before Labor Day. So we are right on track. We were named the October highest attendance of elementary school is below 500. So in the district, so we get a banner.
Nada.
So
$250.
I was gonna say, you know,
I want $120,000. So if you hear me asking, you got $120,000, like just.
I should have heard him in the PTA board meeting last night. We were talking about like our like boo grant money where we could spend it. He's like, well, Emily will get to hear tomorrow about how I really want $120,000.
So,
Our fundraiser.
okay, so the next item here is just field trips, just letting everybody know that our fourth graders will be taking a trip to the recycling center in December, so it doesn't stink.
And we're
Bye.
going to McConnell Springs.
Yes, so the recycling center in McConnell Springs, so those will be happening on December 15th, when it's not very smelly. So that's that. The next item on here,
We do programs all year, like
Yes.
it's not random.
that
This form is 100 years old. It says submit to K.
Hmm.
What in the heck?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know anymore. Okay, so the next item on here is our ESS proposal. So Ms. Green is going to talk us through the ESS proposal.
I know.
For this time, she's been sitting here all this time waiting for this one thing. I made sure to put it last.
At least we moved the meeting. to
So
4:15.
here's your
true.
mouse and you
I've
can.
only heard everything else 1,000 times. I also realized that every time in the slideshow of our KSA data that we made a graph that they're just in my drive now. So I was like, if I delete that out of my drive, will it delete there?
Yes.
So I thought that could be funny, but I didn't do it. Okay. For ESS this year, what we're proposing, they cut our budget again. So our budget is down to 10,000. Last year was 13. It's been cut pretty much consistently by several grand every
Do
year.
like PD, would eventually to zero.
Yep.
Probably. So right now, what we would like to propose is because writing is our main focus this year, and it's also the main focus of our CSIP at the current time, what we'd like to do is in the spring semester, do an after-school program for writing specifically. It would be 2 days a week, an hour after school, including 15 minutes planning daily for teachers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but ESS is very strict with how the allocations fall based on the amount of time that you have. What we would like to do is we want to purchase a program through Voyager. So it's one of our approved programs, Step Up to Writing, where it is actually I don't want to say a canned program, but it is a program that has the lessons already done. It has the curriculum. You can hit it and go. It's typically used as a tiered intervention for writing. So our thought is we can purchase it for after school. We want to target our students through our Ames Web benchmark data and through our tiered interventions who are and our gap groups who are struggling the most with writing. We want to invite them. It would be for all grades, K through 5, an hour after school for the select students who are invited and able to attend. So 6 teachers, maximum of 96 students if we did it in rotations. If I have to guess, 96 students is almost like 40% of our students or something.
25.
20, whatever. And I don't see that. Anyway, it's writing program, not that program.
It's some kids.
It's some kids, but it's, 20 to have 25% of our kids be able to commit would be lofty, I would think. Because we're not providing transportation through it. We want to purchase the program, pay for the teachers to be here 2 days a week, an hour at an hour a time, to be able to boost our writing. That would also be able to count as a tiered intervention for our writing. And the program could also benefit our tiered writing instruction. There was a typo. I gave them an updated copy.
Yes,
Put the old one in.
it's 2,982 is the last line item.
Yeah.
The file I had was an old Word document.
Is it content area?
Yes, it's writing that can be used in any content area, anywhere.
Ames Web is not.
Ames Web is really, that's a very bare minimum of a measurement. It's just, that's our benchmarking tool that we have available. This is going to be more of the typical writing strategies and putting the pencil to paper kind of stuff.
Like you struggle with sentence writing. So this is skills and strategies
It's
and
a lot
lessons
more-
about.
It's, I don't want to call it only writing workshop, but it kind of is. It's meant for small groups of targeted skills.
So are you talking more idea development or more mechanics of writing?
Yes,
More mechanics of writing?
everything. It's
Okay.
my understanding.
Do you know what I mean? Cause
Yeah.
there's two kind of groups
There
of
are.
the touchy-feely writing, and then there's, I actually have to write so that someone else can read what I've
Right.
written. Is
Right,
it over
right.
here? Or
Well, I
more-
want to say it's more the content of writing.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
adapts to every student's
Some
need.
Types of writing or
it's gonna be the different skills within the writing.
What's the reality of that percentage of the population that needs it able to like stay?
So that we're gonna have to really work on that. I think that we'll get a fair amount of participation. A lot of our kids already go to prime time, so it'd be really easy, come over to and then shift back over to prime time if your parents haven't.
Is there an option to walk kids home?
Probably,
Yeah, like we would work it
I
out
mean,
in,
the kids that live on Surfside, you can walk.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Melody?
But yeah, so it starts with like foundational skills and then it goes into
Okay.
different types of writing and really looking at that, but it's meant to just be applied to anything and everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like for bang for your buck, like I wouldn't spend much time on narrative.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
It would be like here and here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
You mean
What
like
goes in four levels
informative,
then?
exploratory?
7, 8, 9, is that what goes for?
no, just like all the different units that
Oh,
it
okay.
has.
Mhm.
So let's see.
Was the thing that you used to spend
Mhm. Entire. Actually, not really. I didn't spend that long on it. You're like, oh, that's good.
Let's see. They sent us samples as well.
Mhm.
So
We'll do samples. It has their own assessments built in as well, so that we can have that CDA data.
I just think, you know, writing has changed
Mhm.
over
Mhm.
time
Yeah, it
and
has.
how we score writing has changed and what we're looking at for writing has changed. And so I just want to make sure that it's not like,
yeah,
you know,
It's to
all
really
your
connect-
ideas are wonderful, just write them down. Like, no,
Right.
no, they're not.
Yeah.
Like, you need to
it's
focus
really
on-
in those 6 traits and really digging in and specific, but it would be more targeted to, hey, you struggled with this, so we're gonna have a mini
Well,
lesson
and
on
even
this.
some of our kids, their ideas aren't bad if their mechanics of
Mhm.
getting it down
Right.
are really rough.
Right.
And so for these kids, that's probably
Mhm.
part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so that's gonna be more of that small group part of the instruction, so we can pull them out based on their
Yeah.
skill deficit.
What we found is last year when we did the summer ignite, the kids that needed to be there didn't come. So doing a summer program isn't gonna be beneficial.
And with
Be-
10 grand, you really can't do much of the summer
Can't do, no.
program. Yeah, we were able to really boost that up last year because of the last of the ESSER money that the district did, and being a hub school, which we were voluntold for regardless, that
Right.
wasn't even an option that we could have chosen. We were
Right.
just fortunate to have it here. So that's what we're proposing. Really, again, it would take 6 teachers, I think. I mean, I think we'll be able to get some people on board to do that. But that's where we are with ESS.
What's the population of our students?
Oh gosh, it's a lot. What do we have, like 160 kids,
No,
150?
96.
No, it's more than that. Maybe my math's really off
There is
today.
96, because there's 30 in each group and there are 3
You're right, because
groups.
we had 82 in the fall and she opened up more slots. You're right.
But after this 96, yeah, like what's the demographic? Like what are we looking at? Like,
There are a lot of
is there some?
whites.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have to work still on helping, and it may be some of the walking home and
Mhm.
there are some kids in there that will definitely benefit
But
from it,
not-
but it is not predominantly
It's
our
not gonna be our
Hispanic.
Hispanic
our EL.
population. Having said that, a lot of our Hispanics population who cannot pick up, sometimes that is a work related something, and it's not necessarily that they don't have a vehicle. Some of them it is that they have a vehicle, but we have a little bit of figuring that out. We'll send out the invites, and if transportation's a burden, and we'll have to make accommodations.
Yeah, I mean, are there like carpools or things that like other people would have?
No.
We cannot organize it.
Okay,
We've walked home before, like we've
Yes.
done walking.
okay. And that you don't have any hoops to jump through or like any liability
No.
issues in that space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But parents could work together to collectively,
You could build friendships that
Yes.
live close by each other and.
Right.
hey, you may want to talk to this part, like we can assist in those things, but we can't be like, hey, we have this carpool.
Organizing. this,
Yes,
Right.
Yeah. So it would be a 14-week, twice a week hit.
You
on
know what,
writing.
whoever you hit will benefit from it,
Mhm.
so that's all that matters.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, I think it's a
um,
great idea.
and if your threshold doesn't have enough kids, then
Well, we
Yeah.
wrote it too, so it's for a maximum of 96, so that way, if the district asks like, hey, why do you only have 60 kids in this? Or why do you only have 40 kids, however many we're able to secure, then we say, well, we're gonna revise our, we were hoping for up to.
yeah. I mean, but even if we hit 40 kids, if we get
Transportation's
40
insane.
kids and we can get them 14 weeks of direct small group instruction, I mean, in writing, that's gonna dramatically improve anything.
And
Yep.
we want to do it for K-5, so we're not talking about only 3, 4, 5. We really want to build those early literacy skills. In the early
Okay,
grades.
so we have a motion by Ms. Hobbs. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Russell. Any additional discussion? All in favor of approving our ESS proposal, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Perfect. That's a bit by tomorrow.
Awesome. So the next items are just your supplemental items. We'll review the school space, extracurriculars and program evaluation. Next month, we're almost done with policies again this year. Great job. So we are now at item number 10, which is the adjournment item. So do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. Hill. Is there a second, Ms. Lane? A second by Ms. Lane. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. If you joined us live on Zoom, we appreciate you. We hope that you have a